More orb sightings. In a little while, I'll show you footage of an orb that was supposedly shot from a bird's eye view from a drone camera. So that's coming up shortly. Like I said, we might talk about Bigfoot. Let's see if anyone comes in. I see Damien is here. Great to see you, man. Welcome. Yeah, I shot this footage earlier today. Leaves are pretty cool looking right now. Yeah, it was a nice day. All right, I want to start the show by reading some, or continue the show by reading some Bible passages. I'm going to read 3 Bible passages, and the first one I want to read is, let's start with John 8:44. This is from the King James Bible. The book of John, chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar, and the father of it. In other words, the father of all lies. But the important part of this verse is that God is telling humans, you are of your father the devil. And you do the things, you lust just as the devil does. And you're a lot like him, is basically what God is telling humans. And this speaks to this thing that I've been talking about recently of the self and sort of like the fake self and the real self. The fake self being the ego, or what some people call an avatar, right? And it speaks to this idea that all thoughts are lies. And that a person should get rid of all thought. Let go of it. And what you're left with once you let go is pure light, the light of God. And that's what we are. Some people think they have an identity, like, I'm a family man. I'm a loving husband and father. Or someone might say, I'm a loving wife and mother. Or I'm a banker. I'm an airplane pilot. These are just really just meaningless things. They don't carry anything because they're not real. The only thing that's real is the light of God. And that's deep inside all of us, underneath all this thought and emotion. Okay, so now we're going to read from the book of Isaiah. I'm reading 3 verses, people. Excuse me, 3 passages. This is the second of 3. And this is Isaiah chapter 55, verses 8 and 9. And I read this the other night. I'm going to read it again. Isaiah 55, verses 8 and 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And we'll get back to that. I want to draw attention to the screen right now. This is the footage that was shot. If you guys can see it, there's an orb there. You see it? It's heading downward. If this is real, this was published on YouTube recently. Just look at that thing. We'll get back to the Bible verses momentarily, people. And I see some people are starting to trickle in. I'll check out the chat in a moment. For now, let's look at this footage. Just look at that. If this is real, that is what they look like in the daytime. They're small. You know what I was thinking when I was watching this footage was it's funny when people see them, when people see orbs that are small and up close, we all make excuses of what it could be, right? Like some people think it's a camera glitch. Other people think it's some kind of a thing in the house. When I see them outside in my backyard, they will be just 15 feet above my head and it'll come by in a straight line. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that cotton ball that's flying sure is flying straight. And for a long duration, wow, interesting. Well, maybe it just came from a cotton plant, which is ridiculous because there's no cotton growing here in the city. I live right next to the airport, and on the other side is the hood, and the other side is a residential area. The other side, a lot of traffic. There's no cotton growing around here, and I've seen this like 3 or 4 times. It looks like a cotton ball, people. Imagine a cotton ball 15 feet above your head, just going in a straight line. This one that I saw 3 or 4 times, it goes in a straight line over the backyards of the houses on my street. And I don't even think it's as high as the top of the pitched roofs. Single story homes, pitched roofs. Yeah, I don't even think this thing is as high as the top of the pitched roof. Let's see who's here. All right. People coming in. Damien is here. I said hello to Damien earlier. He's first. Dean, great to see you. Pushing buttons. Yeah. Rebecca. Great to see everybody here. Okay, I read the first Bible verse, which was John 8:44. Chapter 8, verse 44, that is, in the book of John. And now I'm going to read Isaiah 55, verses 8 and 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. Okay, and once again, this is God kind of admonishing humans, don't be thinking that you're like me. Don't be thinking that I sit around thinking the thoughts that you think. Okay, we're not alike. And just like heaven is different from earth, I'm different than you. Until you drop your anger and let go of thoughts, we're not thinking the same thoughts. We're not alike. You humans are of your father, the devil, the father of your fake self. But deep inside, God is our Father. Deep inside, there's light. So forgiveness is crucial. It's much easier to forgive when you realize that those thoughts aren't your own. Our thoughts are not our own. to know that someone who may have done you wrong, they didn't really do you wrong. It was their fake front self doing your fake front self wrong. Underneath, you're light, and so are they. And forgiveness is crucial. It starts with the parents. And then it ends up with a person forgiving everyone. Okay, we're going to read the third Bible verse now. I'm going to read the third Bible verse now. The first one, and this is the third of three. This is the last one. The first one was John 8:44. The second verses were Isaiah 55, verses 8 and 9. And now I'm going to read from the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2. And I want to thank Rebecca. She's here right now for turning me on to this passage. So this is Romans, chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Yeah. Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. And this speaks again to the idea of letting go of one's thoughts, letting go completely, because they all come from the devil. And the devil is the father of our fake front selves. Renewing the mind means getting rid of those thoughts, letting go, and ideally never having another thought for the rest of your life. The rest of your life will just be doing. The rest of one's life. So these three verses that I read are really crucial. You know, I think they are as important as any verse in the Bible and as any truth a person can know. And it's interesting. They're just spread out through the Bible. Like these little passages, you heard how short they were. The verses were quite short and to the point. And they're just these little passages spread out throughout the Bible. You know, it's like the Bible itself. The Bible is like life itself. You could go through life and be exposed to a billion things, a trillion things, and a gazillion things, and you know, you pick and choose what works. These three passages that I just read, they seem to me to be like puzzle pieces. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about that. Let's see what else is going on. What's on everybody's mind? Anything? Just taking it easy. I hope the weather's good where you guys are. Any rain? Anyone? Seeds of truth, indeed. Let's see. There was a Bigfoot sighting in Pennsylvania this week. I don't know if you guys heard about that. A Bigfoot sighting in Pennsylvania. um, I guess it ran across the highway, and some drivers reported it. All right. Wow, that sounds like a Godzilla movie, Rebecca. Asian lady beetle attacks. Man, I don't know. I thought they were a pretty good band. Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking about the Bigfoot sighting, and it's interesting that even if all these sightings are hoaxes or mistakes, there's something about a furry creature that's like kind of ape-like, furry and human-like with human legs and arms. The like the human imagination will always think up things like King Kong and Mighty Joe Young and Chewbacca and a teddy bear. There's something about a creature covered in fur walking around like a human with a human head and a human looking head, human looking arms, human looking legs and torso. Maybe some elongated features or uh, larger features, but there's something about that. Like people are compelled by that. Now, there's other creatures. Remember Chaka from Land of the Lost, in the 70s? Yeah, there's something about that. Something about that. All right. This footage was shot on November 7th, just the other day. And I don't know if you guys saw this. It was the moon, like a full moon rising over the, I don't know if it was full, but rising over the east horizon. And it stayed like fixed in this position that you're looking at right here, barely moving for such a long time. Um, the official narrative says that it was because of the elliptical orbit of the moon, that it was at its furthest extreme point. So that's why it just kind of stayed there for the longest time. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I think Woo Riders put out a video that that night of the moon, but made no mention of the fact that it stayed in its spot for a real long time. I don't know if you guys saw that. I saw it with my own eyes, just kind of by chance. But it was weird. Like I shot the footage of it, thinking it was just a pretty moonrise, But then like an hour later, I looked and it was pretty much in the same spot. So I'm going to read this quotation that I've been reading recently. Um, I got this from a chat room, and unfortunately, I failed to write down the name of the author. And I don't know if it was this person's words or if this person was quoting someone else. I don't know if you guys have heard this one, but here it is. If the government is involved, avoid it. If the government supports it, reject it. If the government says it's safe, it's not. If the government says it's true, it's false. If the government says it wants to help, it won't. If the government says you need it, you don't. And, I tell my listeners all the time, and they already know, but if you're new to this channel, uh, this whole world is upside down. It's backwards. It's a reversal of what it should be. And what we have is a situation where the perceived powers that be, the perceived establishment that calls the shots in this material world, this beast system, what many people just call the government, a blanket term. And here's the trick, people. It's this simple. The government says it wants to help you when in fact it secretly wants to hurt you. Okay? And it's that simple. The government is a two-faced friend. It's that simple. And I've said this before, Americans cannot accept it. Not even the most far out Americans, not even the most unconventional, outside the box Americans. I've only met a small amount of people, and that is people who are subscribed to my channel and I've interacted with, who can see this. And there's more, but I think for most people who think that the government is lying, they don't realize the extent of the lie. It's so extreme. We don't even really know the extent of this great deception. But for some reason, we live in a world where human beings are in a bad spot, kind of, with the deceit and all. I mean, we're in a good spot when we get in tune with the light of God. But if we play the beast systems games, well, you see it all around you. It's not working for humans. It's you're seeing more and more unhappiness. We're seeing more and more extreme, desperate behavior. We're seeing more callous, evil, and murderous behavior among people. It's a jungle out there. And then we look at the research people have done in regards to false histories and the narrative that's been given to us about our history, the history of the human race. You could see that the history of the United States anyway is missing out major things. There's evidence of a flood, of a major flood, and there's evidence that certain buildings, structures were built long before they said that they were built. And one gets the feeling that it's happened before. That is to say, there's been a whole crop of humans, generations of humans who lived before us, and then somehow they were no longer there. I don't know what happened, if they moved away or if there was an event, some kind of event that wiped away people. It would sound scary if you've never heard anything, if you've never heard anything like that before. But again, when you're in the light of law of God, you don't have to be afraid of things like that. You know, my point is that we've been lied to about this material world so much. It's not even funny. All right. I've been telling the same 5 jokes all month long, and I might as well do it again. Here's 5 quick, cheap jokes. Why didn't the baker like his new assistant? He was too needy. What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot. 2 fish are in a tank. One says to the other, "How do you drive this thing?" And this next one, I like this one. What did the drummer name his 2 daughters? Anna 1, Anna 2. Anna 1, Anna 2. And number 1 joke, what's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. Yeah. Hey, and here's a bonus one, a new one. Why was the hippie hiding in the barbershop? Or why was the shit. Why was the hippie in the barbershop? Because he was hiding from his father in the last place his father would expect to find him. All right. And let's see. Cleveland Steve is here. Welcome. Good to see you, Cleveland Steve. Snow flurries in Alabama. Deep down in Alabama, we shout Bama Lama. Is Bigfoot a real entity? I don't know. If Bigfoot is real, sometimes it seems like it has powers like to appear and disappear, or other powers. Who knows? Or maybe I just read too many comic books. Or too much. Yeah, that's right. The Mandela effect does put a whole other twist on history as well as the present. That's it. Dean is here. Welcome. Oh, I already welcomed you. Well, welcome again. Oh, good. Dean has a joke. Why did the baker have brown fingers? Because, oh, Dean. 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 All right. Rebecca has one. Bologna is just hot dogs for people who love pancakes. Nicely done. Nicely done. And then I wanted to tell you guys a quick random story. And I might as well do a review of an old TV show, What's Happening. Everybody loves What's Happening. But most people haven't seen it in a long time. It does hold up. I haven't seen it in a few years, but it holds up. It's a good show. And the actors are really good and colorful and they put in a good performance. And And everyone remembers Rerun, right? Rerun. Here's a trivia question. What was the name of the actor who played Rerun? Who knows the answer to this question? Without looking it up. So one day, me and my buddies were at the mall, and I was 17, Greg was 18, Jeff was 16. And they were brothers, Greg and Jeff Pahuma, my best friends in high school. And along with Dale. Dale wasn't there that day. It was me and Greg and Jeff. And we were hanging out at the mall. We were at the food court. And my buddy Jeff says, "Hey, look, it's Fred Berry." Like, who's Fred Berry? That's Rerun, dude. And sure enough, Rerun was breakdancing in the mall. And we when it was pointed out to me, I had just made a purchase at the music store, the record store, which was called, oh man, I can't remember right now the name of that. It was Musicland. I think it was Musicland. I could be mistaken, but anyway, yeah, I had a receipt from my purchase. So we went over and watched Fred Berry dancing, and a crowd built around him. And then afterwards, he signed autographs, and he signed my receipt. I might still have that somewhere. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. He was spotted in Albuquerque by other people in other places. I don't know what was going on. Maybe he was considering moving to Albuquerque. Bush says, didn't he change his name to Rerun? I've never heard that, but that would be cool. Yeah, he was even wearing like more traditional dancing, not like dancing sweatpants, as opposed to like modern hip hop, contemporary hip hop style. He wasn't wearing contemporary hip hop style. He was wearing sort of more traditional urban dancer in a dance class, that type of outfit. But I'm going to do shout outs. We had a cool crowd tonight, and now's the time to say good night to everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, whoa. No, we're not going yet, man. We're not going yet. Let me see here. Forgive me, people. Sloppy Joe. Right arm. If you guys want to call it a night, if you're not in the mood for Jesse Lee Peterson, no worries. I'll see you next time. But those of you who want to stick around, I'm going to go like another 15 minutes and discuss this video. We're going to start it at 3.5 minutes in. And thank you for joining me, everyone. I appreciate you. And let's check this out if you're interested.
Everything that you need, want, and desire, the perfect things that are for you. So you got to learn to let go. All right, so with your eyes closed, and just allow your eyeballs to fall back in the socket, and just relax your tongue, relax in the throat, just relax. And your whole body just melt. Just kind of become aware from your head and travel down to the tip of your toes. And you may feel a warmth in your body, you might not. Whatever is happening, just let it happen. Allow yourself to breathe. You were created to breathe naturally. You don't have to force yourself to breathe. So relax and just let yourself breathe. All right? Just totally relax. And just be aware of your insides, just from your head to your neck, to your shoulders, all the way down your chest to your stomach, all the way down your legs. Just be aware of that without any effort. No effort. Let go and let God. Let yourself breathe. And I want you to be aware of the noise that's happening around you. Or if it's nothing but silence, be aware of the silence, the quietness. There's beauty in the quietness. It's mind-blowing. But if there is noise playing around you, people talking or music or whatever, the train going by your house, just be aware of that, because those things are happening in the presence of God. It's happening right now, not in the past and not in the future. And you want to be aware of the present. He says, come into my present. I am right here, right now. Not in yesterday, not in tomorrow. Don't think about yesterday. Do not think about tomorrow. You got to learn to be present with God, and all will be well at all.
Okay, you guys, this is a really important video because he's giving you practical instructions on what I've been talking about. Separating one from one's thoughts, tuning in to the light of God.
Times.
And we can have this here. We don't have to wait till we're dead. And if you try this silent prayer, it'll bring a smile to your face. Yeah.
And so with your eyes closed, right in the center of your forehead, where thoughts travel, without opening your eyes, without looking up, I want you to just become aware of the center of your forehead, right above your eyebrows. And that's where thoughts come. That's where they travel through. Thoughts are like the wind. We don't know where they come from or where they go. But instead of being caught up in your head, in those thoughts, you want to stand back and just, within your mind's eyes, and be aware of those thoughts. Don't deny them. Do not control them. Do not oppress them. Do not try to hold on to the so-called good ones or the bad ones. Just watch all thoughts coming and going. And you're going to know that you are not your thoughts. Because it's you looking at the not you. You are not your thoughts. You don't create thoughts. And all of them are set up. They build you up just to let you down. They make you feel good to make you feel bad.
How about that? That's powerful talk, people, and it's true. It's absolutely true. You can think thoughts, and you could build yourself up. We've all been there, especially when we were younger, like that cockiness. But even throughout life, your thoughts will build you up just to let you down later. Your thoughts are a two-faced friend, not unlike the government. You see, this world is a lie. And it's also beautiful. All right.
They make you feel hopeful, give you hope to take away the hope and cause you to feel hopeless. They create suicidal thoughts and doubt and worry and fear. And they cause you to worry and think about what others think of you. All kinds of stuff. And then they make you feel good. They tell you you're better than this person or that person. Look at you, how wonderful you are. You're smart. You're a king. You're a queen. They're all lies. Because the moment you get caught up in that very moment or a few minutes later, they'll let you down, and now you don't feel like a queen or a king. So let every thought go. You are not your thought. And just be aware of those. Just let them go, all right? No effort at all. Just stand back in your mind's eyes and look at those thoughts coming and going. Up until now, you've been caught up in them, trying to live up to them or control them or whatever. From this day forward, I'm asking you to let them go. God's voice is a voiceless voice. He reveals things to you. He doesn't talk to you in your mind, in your head. His voice doesn't sound like your voice or anyone else's voice. Those thoughts are the voices of your father, the devil, and his children. Those thoughts, every one of them set you up. So just relax. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to be quiet for 1 minute, and I just want you to just relax. If you don't see any light or you don't have any thoughts, you only see darkness or you see nothing, just relax in that too. Have no opinion about it. Let God's will be done. And if you do this, what it does, it slows you down from being lost in your imagination so that the truth can catch up with you and allow you to know that you are not who you think that you are. You're not God, and cause you to let go so that God can take over your life. And once that happens, you're locked in. So you got to submit to prayer, and I urge you to do it. So I'm going to be quiet for 1 minute, and I want you to just relax. If you get caught up in a thought, just realize it, let it go, and just be aware of yourself sitting there. All right? So I'm going to be quiet for a minute.
Welcome to today.
All right. Weird commercial. Yeah, I'm glad I could share that last video with you. That was very powerful, you know. And again, I don't agree with everything that Jesse Lee Peterson says, but what I just showed you and what I have been showing you, I'm right there. I'm backing that up. He's talking the truth, you guys. These thoughts are coming to us from the devil, and it's no different than the great deception that we've noticed about the government lying to us on television, in education, through the media, etc. Everything's a lie in this world, including our thoughts. It's not just the screen that's lying to us, it's our own thoughts. I'm going to read these Bible passages one more time, but first, Rebecca requested that I sing the theme song that I hum the theme song for Stanford and Son. Or was it Sanford? Sanford and Son, not Stanford. All right, Sanford and Son. All right. All right. Let's take a look at this news story here.
I'm always kind of interested in strange things.
Okay, but
UFOs.
like exist in the world. So, Mark, are there any mythical creatures you think exist in the world?
I'm always kind of interested in strange things.
Okay, but like UFOs, aliens.
And what we're getting to, yes.
Yeah?
Creatures.
You are a
Loch
believer?
Ness Monster.
Okay, well, the world famous Bigfoot may have been spotted traveling across I-80 earlier this week. Researchers with the Bigfoot Field Research Organization wrote
Why did Bigfoot cross the road? Never mind.
a report on the incident. Okay, Mark, so according to the witness in the report, the alleged Sasquatch crossed the busy highway around 5:30 on October 4th, about 11 miles northeast of Bellefonte, near Bald Eagle State Park. The witness claims the dark figure was human-like, taller than the vehicle in front of him, and seemed to almost glide across the lanes and run into the woods, all in about 3 seconds. That's pretty fast. 2 others reported seeing something that day as well. One says he's an avid hunter who said even with 50+ years in the woods, he doesn't know what he saw, but it wasn't a bear. So, Mark, after that, do you believe?
I'm kind of scared to head out to I-80. I travel
Yeah.
that road a lot in that very area, sometimes early in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one of these days you'll see Bigfoot just running across the road. And that's a pretty dangerous road to cross, too.
Yeah, no thank you. I
No,
don't
thank
need that
you.
excitement in my life.
Hey, Johnny. Let's see here. Will I keep this video up? Yeah, probably. That's funny. Rebecca says, I saw a meme that said, you got to meet me after your ego death. I won't make sense before. That's exactly right. It's not worth hooking up with someone who's not working on themselves. Now, dude, who's the boss? All right. Okay, before I say goodnight, let me quickly read these Bible passages. All 3 of them speak to this idea of letting go of anger, letting go of thoughts, because they're evil, and that everybody has a fake front self that is evil, and a deep down inside self that is their real self, that is light, that is the light of God, that is with God. But until ego death, God will make it clear in the Bible, and does make it clear that we're not like God. When we're not working on ourselves, when we're not killing our anger, when we're not letting go of our anger, we're not like God. So here's the first one. This is John chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar, and the father of it. Everyone's false, fake self is a lie. And so here's the second passage of the three. Isaiah chapter 55, verse 8 and verse 9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And lastly, Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Romans 12, 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. And he says it right there. And be not conformed to this world. Don't conform. Don't live in this beast system. It won't do you any good at all. One more time. Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Yeah, he says it right there. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And that's the perfect will of God. It's an incredibly powerful verse and passage. All three of those. I'm glad I could share those with you guys. Let's start to wrap it up, people. We're 56 minutes in. It's great to see all of you. And I appreciate you guys. And let's do shout outs. Damien, great to see you. Dean, yeah. Where did you go, Dean? I didn't mean nothing by how you know what I mean. Pushing buttons, yeah. Rebecca, and that's it, everyone. Cleveland Steve, yeah. Okay, good. Nice cozy crowd. Hope everything's cool. And you guys, all right. All right, all right. We'll see you guys soon. I'll be coming at you. And if I don't see you in the next few days, I'll see you probably next week. And maybe do a watercolor video. Finish up that watercolor that I started the other night. Okay, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Have a great night. We'll talk to you soon. All right.